Lock in America! It's time for Straight Talk! This is the Wayne Dupree Podcast, hosted by Wayne Dupree, with co-host Jason Robertson, delivering powerful opinions, arcade debates on politics, entertainment, and the hottest stories. No spin, just honest takes and real conversation! The Wayne Dupree Podcast is lit! Let's get into it right now.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. My name is Wayne Dupree. You are watching the Dupree Report. It is 12:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. It says Facebook, but it's not on Facebook. So, I don't know.
Rumble Studio hates Facebook. Who knew?
Yeah, I thought I fixed it. Guess I didn't. Let me look on my personal page and let me see if it's on there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is Tuesday, August 4th. Happy to be here with each and every one of you. Yep. Oh, we're on the personal. So we're on
when you start it, you got to do the drop down thing.
What drop down thing?
When you make a Rumble Studio, we ran into that once where it like imports all your Facebook pages that you're connected to when you sync them. So when
you know what? StreamYard does it automatically, and I guess Facebook did it, and they didn't do it. So,
oh yeah,
okay. All right, we are. Okay, Jason Robinson from Minnesota. We're getting ready to get into it. Jason Robinson from Minnesota. What's up, Jason? Real quick.
Hey, folks! Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Dupree Report. My name's Jason. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Wayne Dupree. We appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to hang out with us. And let's get started, my friend.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we broadcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Terry is on YouTube. Hey, Terry, what's up, man?
Terry made the journey.
What's up? Thank you for checking out YouTube. Thank you for those that were on Facebook that are on YouTube now, that are venturing over to YouTube. Appreciate that. Don't forget to share the show. Want to talk real quick about a couple things. First thing, what's it? Looks like Todd Blanche looks like the Republicans, two other Republicans. It's probably more though. It looks like they are signing off on Todd Blanche. They advanced the Blanche nomination on a 12-10 party line vote. So it looks like it's going to be brought to the floor, the Senate, so that he can become the next Attorney General. He had to agree to publicly write a piece of paper and sign it saying that they weren't going to do some type of funds, January 6th fund or whatnot, $1 billion fund. I don't know how much it is, but that they weren't going to do it, and he had to sign it. We know Washington, but you know what? I ain't going to get into that yet. Okay. So he did it, and Cornyn and Tillis, I think, both of them were withholding their support of it, and they felt it was they felt that it was bad to do, and they stuck with it. And President Trump was like, "I'll go ahead and pull Blanche. I'll pull him. As long as y'all let me know that we'll bring this right back up when they get out, because I'm gonna put him right back up again." Bottom line is, it looks like he's gonna get it. Can they be paid out of other funds? Yes. From some videos that I've been seeing. Will they be paid out of some other funds? Yes. It just won't be this one. So it's a whole lot of grandstanding on the way out, basically. Maybe they might run for Senate again in another 6 years. I don't know. But the Republicans, it seemed like it's going to go across through party lines. To me, it looks like that they're going to get it. Republicans are going to get it since they hold the 53-seat majority. You probably have on the Pennsylvania Senator Fetterman vote too. So it's a win for the Trump administration. Jason.
Yeah, Todd Blanche. I mean, Pam Bondi was probably one of the duds. We could all agree from the first half of Trump 2.0. And I mean, she did some good things with court cases. It's just nobody was getting prosecuted. And since they made switch to Blanche, we have seen improved performance, I think, from them. So the fact that Trump has to battle Republicans to get nominees is just so indicative of where the right is in the country. And I hope I live long enough to see us actually get real Republicans, because the president of the United States, when he holds the House, Senate, and White House, should not be fighting with his own party to get people confirmed. I mean, it's ridiculous, and if you figure like Matt Gaetz was going to be the AG, and then oh no, we can't have Gaetz. Then it was, okay, here's Pam Bondi. She did all right. She really duffed the Epstein stuff. And now you got Todd Blanche, and, rhinos are still battling. Someday I hope we get the cohesion the left has, where they just, whoever they put up there, they're pushing through.
Or maybe they used to have, because right now it looks like they're having a civil war. Jason was talking about some elections.
The communists, man.
Happening today. So it looks like there's a civil war on that side. And some of us are sitting down here watching, okay, as a tennis match, while maybe some Republican friends are trying to help the lowly Democrats stay. I don't even know how that's going. And like yesterday, we talked about the MTG Thomas Massey thing with their huge, and again, I'm surprised that they didn't put Alex Jones on there, but then maybe I'm not surprised. But each one of them have a large following. And now there's probably some overlap with that. But 2028 is looking to be one of those all-time elections. Sean Hannity used to get on, it's the most important election in our lifetime. He said that for everything. So basically, that's what people are going to be saying again. It's the most important election for our lifetime. Is it? I mean, the way that I'm looking at it is, the American people are going to say, who's better for us? Once again, if they are tired of one, they're going to vote for the other. If they're tired of the other one, they're going to vote for the other one. And they're still going to get the same thing. Basically, they're still going to get the same thing. Markets are on an all-time high today. Stocks are smashing records. Scott Bissett got on and said that he expects a Hormuz deal today or tomorrow. That's what he said. I had to do 3 of them, y'all. I had to do 3 of them. I'm not backing off of what I said yesterday. Iran is just waiting around. They're just holding out. And they have friends. Turkey, China, Russia, North Korea. They got friends.
Oh, Wayne read Mongol Moon.
I didn't even know, you know what? I didn't even know that Russia was that close to. I didn't know China was that close to Iran. If you look on the map, I mean, it's not a hop, skip, and a jump, but I didn't know China was that close to Iran, past India, kind of like that. But and then I was like, in my mind, how in the heck is Ukraine doing stuff in Iran, or Ukraine is up here? I didn't know that. I thought Ukraine was way over here with Russia and China. I didn't know that Russia and Ukraine are right over top. And I was like, wow, I didn't. Whatever. Yeah, but seems like everybody's starting to get into it. Ukraine's doing some stuff. Ukraine is. It's funny watching Ukraine do all this stuff inside Russia, and then when Russia is doing stuff to them, they cry and whine. I don't remember, and I'm not advocating for Vladimir Putin. I'm not doing that. I've never done that. Nobody on the show has ever done that. We haven't advocated for Vladimir Putin at all. But he's not going around crying or whining that he got hit. He just hits back. Where it comes from, and Ukraine just hit a beach with people on it. What? And then it's something, and I'm gonna go back to the stocks in just a second. And then it's something else that I thought about too, about this Ukraine situation. Why are we still giving them money? Why are we still giving them money? Ukraine has been fighting Russia in a de facto type of deal for the United States. I understand that. I'm not running away from that opinion, NewsGuard. I'm not running away from that opinion. I think that the United States and a couple, maybe one or two allies are helping Ukraine, funding Ukraine, giving them all this stuff to hit inside of Russia. What gets me is that the United States is saying, we don't want China or Russia to help Iran. God darn. I mean, what? I see. That's way above my pay grade, but I know it makes some logical sense somewhere. I mean, nonsense, like my mom said. I miss her. It makes nonsense. If you helping somebody else, but you don't want somebody else to help, that don't make sense to me. But then again, I'm here behind a desk on Tuesday, August 4th, talking to you about my opinion. Jason, go.
I think it's kind of fascinating how the Russia-Ukraine war is not being covered at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's another thing I was going to say too. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all do understand we're only getting one side of everything. I was thinking, do not forget that they have shut off not only the Russia side, they have shut off what's happening in Iran and Israel to the American people. We're not getting the whole full story. I'm sorry, Jason, you reminded me because I was thinking about that too, and I thank you for reminding me. We're not getting the whole story on any of it. We're only getting what they want us to know. Okay, that's why. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
I was going to say Russia, Ukraine. If you remember, I mean, I'm old enough. I'm old, but I'm old enough to remember when the sending money to Ukraine was the single most important issue ever in the history of mankind. We had senators, we had House members, we had the president flying Ukraine flags. People were putting them in their social media bios. It was everywhere. Trump takes office, all that goes away. The money does keep flowing, although not as aggressively. And the war has continued heating up, going on.
Every day.
Depending on what reports you read or believe, sounds like Ukraine's having some pretty good success with drones. They've signed some drone deals with other nations for making them. I mean, they've reclaimed some territory, it sounds like, that Russia had taken. I mean, on the Russian side, it comes down to they want to keep the Crimean Peninsula and they want to take over all the fertile land in Ukraine, the farmland. So I maintain I don't want anything to do with any of it, but I just find it fascinating that the war is actually, there's way more happening in the war right now today than there was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, with, land being given and taken, and you hear nothing about it. And like Wayne mentioned, Ukraine is doing some things that would probably be considered unpopular. Drone attacking in Russia, like they're talking about hitting Moscow. They wiped out a bunch of civilians on beaches. I mean, they've attacked the energy grid, and like you don't hear any of it in the Western media. So it was funny because just late last week, I'm like, I got to go see what's going on over there. I saw an article about them signing a drone deal, and I'm like, man, there's been more land given and taken on that front. They're talking about bringing a bunch of North Korean troops on the Russian side, which would be really fascinating. But funny when our politicians aren't passing bills to send, hundreds of millions of dollars, suddenly all the pins go away and all the flags on the social media bios go away. But nothing's changed. I mean, it's all still the same war that's been going on for a while. So
Yeah, and I just it's just a whole lot of hypocrisy when it comes to this stuff. And look, I'm not a baby. I understand money is changing hands. I understand money is flowing freely, and we will never know who. My opinion, Newsguard. I believe that money is flowing freely. I believe that money is just flowing all up and down in people's pockets and people's bank accounts and people's countries and stuff like that. I believe that. I would be ignorant not to. But like you said, you don't see that on in the media. You don't see journalists. Everybody knows we don't really have journalists anymore. If we had real journalists that cared about the stuff that hurt the American people or disenfranchised the American people, then real journalists will get out there and tell you exactly what is going on. Journalists back in the day weren't afraid to go to jail, and guess what? They really didn't go to jail. Did they ever find out who Deep Throat was? I'm just saying, and I ain't talking about the movie.
I was gonna say,
yes, you little dirty mind.
He's been single a long time. He's identified.
But yeah, journalists used to be able to find stuff, and they used to work all night long and all weekend and weeks and weeks to come up with a major story and breaking stuff. People don't do that now. People don't do that now, because it's not fashionable, I guess. I put out a tweet this morning, and look, I just get sick and tired knowing what we had and where we're at. It's like when I was growing up, I remember listening to the old people. They sit on their porches, under their awnings as the sun is going down and the flies are around. But like my pop-up had got a rubber band, and cut the rubber band in half. So every time fly come around, he act like he's asleep. He just, pow, kind of like that. And I'm listening to the old people just talk about the times, They didn't really talk about all that crap that's going on today. Men wearing women clothes, women wearing men clothes, women in sports, women in men's sports, men in women's sports, bathroom, this and that, politicians, even though back in the day, they might have been putting money in their pocket, they weren't putting the amount of money that is going into the pockets now in their pockets back then. I mean, you have senators that have gold flat jackets. He's still in jail, ain't he?
I think
from New Jersey, asking for a pardon. He or is he in jail? Whatever. Gold bars.
Gold bar Bob.
They look. Forget the paper. Dude got gold bars in his jacket. That's sick. That's crazy. There's this Democrat in Florida. FBI busted his house. Went straight to the refrigerator. Straight to the refrigerator. Cold, new meaning, no. Meaning, you ever heard the word cold hard cash? Dude had thousands of dollars, Democrat had $1,000 in his freezer. FBI, somebody tipped him off. Wayne, what are you saying? I'm saying I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of where this this world is going. In a way, I'm not ready to leave yet. I'm not saying I'm not ready to leave yet. I'm just saying that where we are and where we used to be, I would rather be where we used to be than where we are right now. You know, I mean, honestly, I could do without social media. Really, I could. I would honestly, I wish it was like that. We aren't there anymore. On YouTube, thank God for some of these people that are out here, but there's some people on YouTube that find these scammers in India and stuff like that, and then they post how they hack into those systems and show them that they've been watching it for a long time, and get those places shut down because they prey on the older people, or they prey on Americans by downloading all this stuff, and then give them a number, and then the next thing you know, you're talking to an Indian person or a person overseas, and we have to have access to your computer and do this and do that, and then next thing you know, you see all your files leaving and stuff. I think that happened. Did that happen to me once? That happened to me once. That happened to me back in 2011 or 2012. And I had some computer issues, and I called the helpline that was on the CD for the thing. And I saw some file. I mean, I'm seeing the black screen, but I'm seeing the files deleting, and I heard them pull the plug out. But that happened a long time. That's why now when I go into my emails, I know, and I'll get back to news in a second. That's when I go into my emails and stuff. I don't reply to. Seriously, I really don't reply to you unless I know you. I don't reply to you. First thing I do, if I don't know you, I take my little cursor and I go up to your email address and I put the thing over there. I want to see if that matches that. And if that don't match that, you get blocked. And now they're doing stuff on the phone. But yeah, I've strayed. I'm not.
It's funny. It was. I wanted to bring up a social media experiment for you and our audience to try, because you kind of touched on that yesterday. Like, I hadn't seen this in the news or hadn't seen that, and it's funny. So through our business at the American Tribune, we run multiple Twitter accounts. Just they cover different genres. We have the Old World Show, which talks about colonial America. We have some other history stuff that does more European history. And you can Twitter's a good platform for it, because you can create different accounts and follow different people and do different things on them. Some of the other platforms gets more sketched out if you make multiple accounts. And like I say, we make diverse content, so it makes sense to not put it all in one channel. So it's, which that good business advice for you, Wayne, when you you almost need a WNBA Twitter account so that you can pull that out.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening, you'll find when you learn these algorithms, and Twitter's a great one to do. I'll flip between the accounts, my personal, the history one, the American Tribune main one, and those, and you look at the feeds, and they are entirely different lived experiences.
Yep.
And if you do that, and like let's say Becky makes another Twitter account, Becky 2, and all she does is interact with left-wing stuff. And when she flips into that account, she will have an entirely different news cycles. She'll have entirely different things happening. She'll have entirely different things that she doesn't even know is happening. And it's really remarkable. And I would say if you ever doubt how much the algorithms control what people think, see, and believe, do that one exercise. Do 30 days, make a second Twitter account, and just follow anything. You know, like if you like baseball, just follow baseball players and engage with baseball stuff. And when you look at that feed and understand that's where a lot of people get their news, you will get an entirely different news feed than somebody else. And it's funny, a real world experience. So a friend of mine, I own rental properties with him. We've been friends for 30 years. We're best men in each other's wedding. He's a Democrat. I'm a Republican or a conservative, whatever you want to call me. And it's funny. We'll joke about politics, but like both of us know it's way above our pay grades. And so but we were talking about this Somali fraud, which is a huge thing in Minnesota. And I was telling about them before the Nick Shirley videos. I'm like, man, these communities, they're just like, it's just millions, and it's up to however many billions of dollars. And we talked about a month ago, and he's like, I watch the news, I watch WCCO, and I read the online paper and stuff, and I'm just not hearing it. And I'm like, just go down the rabbit hole. Just go down the rabbit hole. Let me know what you think. Because he's like, oh, that gal that was in charge, that white lady, she was really the mastermind. And I'm like, well, just go down the rabbit hole. And he called me this morning and he goes, I took your advice. I went down the rabbit hole. This Somali stuff is insane. He's like, one, the Amy Beck that got convicted, just my opinion, it was his opinion too, is like she was just the figurehead, and she had operated this organization for years before the fraud started. The fraud started when they brought in the Somali groups mainly. The fraud, it's not just the Somali fraudsters, but they did all this fraud through the community. So every one of those people that stole like $25 million worked with like 10,000 members of the Somali community to pull off the fraud. None of those are being prosecuted. And then once they're prosecuting them, because the money was all sent to Somalia or put in somebody else's name, we're not getting any of the money back. And 80% of them aren't even going to end up with a felony on their record. So the head people, not even the people that aren't charged that participated in the fraud. And his mind was blown. He's like, I'll be honest, you said that. I'm like, oh, there's some right-wing conspiracy theory because they don't like Somalis. And he's like, it's just tens of thousands of these people in Minneapolis that were all in on this. And like, they don't talk about it on my news channel at all. And, other than, oh, so-and-so got convicted. And I'm like, welcome to the world. Like you lived in a different reality than I did, where I see this fraud and I'm like, oh man, this got to stop. This is just, these numbers are astronomical. And then he got kind of mad because he's like they're stealing money from the autistic kids. Like money we set aside to help autistic kids. Like they're stealing that. Like who steals money from the autistic kids? But I think it kind of ties into that algorithm and that kind of thing. And Wayne, it might not be the worst idea for you to do the Jen approach. Just take 30 days off all social media. And Jen doesn't check the news. She has not logged on to Facebook until the day after Charlie, since the day after Charlie was killed. It'll be fun because we'll have like Facebook groups for this wedding we're in. I'll have to screenshot things and send them to her because she won't even look at it. So
my thing is, Jason, if I do that, I ain't coming back.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I ain't coming back. Because when I've been like on the weekends, I really don't look at seriously. I really don't look at news. I mean, I just like you. Well, you do your thing on Friday, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, I might with the headline stuff, but I don't really get into. I don't get into stuff to form an opinion anymore. I'm just gathering news, giving it to people so that they can make their own opinion. That's it. And it's like starting a new account. Is it that bad? I was thinking about doing that for for TikTok. I did do a new one for a motivational one for Instagram, and those numbers are starting to look up. But I hadn't thought about Twitter because Twitter is just, and you're right. If with the audience type of deal, when your audience changes, you start seeing different things. You just start seeing things that you probably never even saw before, and when it starts hitting you, you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know that before. It's almost like when I left the Democratic Party and started championing John McCain and stuff, and I was like, I didn't know about the Democrat Party and them doing this and doing that and stuff, and they never taught this in school. Because for me, I still believe that even though Cleo, I still believe maybe something wrong. Maybe there's an earthquake coming because I hear your dog and I hear this cat, and I'm like, what the heck?
There's
But
a truck outside from the city, and like clearly they're preparing to attack the house. Who's going to defend that property?
yeah, no,
And Cleo's losing it too.
yeah, no, she's losing it. She saw me coming downstairs, and usually I get my daughter to get the cat before I come downstairs. I was kind of running late, so now she came all the way downstairs, got to the door, opened up the door. She's looking at me. I closed the door, and now she's banging on the door like the police. It's nuts.
Well, and it's interesting too when talking about like the news and what you follow. It's fascinating because when I grew up, and I still see people in my age bracket, and even some younger people that kind of follow this belief, like, oh, you need to know what's going on so that, like, because all these bad things are happening and you have to be informed and you have to be aware. And that's become so perverse in our daily society, where you get all these people that are all worked up over what's going on in Palestine or places that aren't their local community. Like, people can't name their mayor of their town. They can't name their city council that really impacts their life.
But you know what? You know what I think? I think the reason why that is because of how TV is going. A long time ago, most of our coverage was local.
Right.
From sun up to sundown, you used to see the local news.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just national news. For the most part, the national news takes over stuff, and negativity sells. It's what happened today? Just like you said, what happened today? Not, Miss Johnson's, no, there's a wreck on Johnson Street that something. The city council voted for a new pool at the end of Reisterstown Road. That you got a haircut. There isn't a whole lot of local stuff. Because like I said, you go back to the how do you call it? The journalists. The journalists are gone. A whole lot of journalists are gone. You just have newsrooms of Twitter watchers and Facebook watchers and stuff now. You really don't have a whole lot of journalists telling you what's sitting in on those city council meetings. That unless there's a fight, then media comes down. Such and such stood up, and it was a melee. The police had to show up, and again, negativity.
Well, and I think, and let me know in the chat, folks, and Wayne, I'll put you and I on the spot. I don't think I could name the mayor and half the city council right now. I know the mayor's name just because I support her and whatnot, but in most cases, like, let me know in the chat, could you name the mayor of your town and half of your city council? And these are the people that are making decisions for you every day that way more impact your life than what's happening in Palestine. And and we've got some people in the chat who'll be like Bubba. He knows all of them. He knows the secretary at the city. But it's fascinating that, like, in this desire to know, so many people have lost track of, like, managing their own life. And it's funny, using my wife as a test case. When she quit doing social media, like, she's completely oblivious to things. And a lot of times, like, I do the news for a living, like doing digital marketing, so I kind of have to be in there. But it's like, she's so happy. She's like, she had no idea that this happened or that happened, but she knows that she's digging into what we're going to have, what's on our menu for this week, or what's going on with the neighbor's house, that oh, look, we got a new neighbor, or things like that. And it's just, some people get so wrapped up in it in an unhealthy way and an unproductive way, because, like, your mayor, your city council, your county commissioners, those affect your life way more than so many things that people are experts on. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And, I got brushed back back in the Maryland Republican Party wanted me to speak.
Lisa can name all of hers. Go, Lisa.
The Maryland Republican Party wanted me to speak at their convention one year.
Cleo is on fire. All right, folks, I think we need to start a petition. I think Cleo needs to attend every day's podcast, because Ed Wayne is so annoyed right now, because he's like, I'm going to kill that cat. Wayne, if you got a dog, that dog could help keep Cleo skedaddled.
If I could have muted you, I would have muted you too.
I waited till you're out of your chair.
Now,
Wednesday is the fur baby show. We bring our pets. Everybody brings their pets to Wednesdays. Oh, now Bubba's gonna show off. There you go.
He knocked it over.
Bubba's gonna show off. He's gonna start naming them all. Giddy up. So we have Bubba and Lisa. City Council.
They'd asked me to speak at the Republican convention here in Maryland, party convention. So, and one of the guys on social media. Well, he's not on social media, but he's from Maryland. And I guess he had been in this thing for longer than me. He didn't like it. He's not even registered as a Republican. So I had to go and register as a Republican to speak at a convention. I couldn't tell you who was running for what. I couldn't tell you. And I told him, I was like, the national scene, at the time, I would tell him, the national scene is what is very important to me, because there's so many things happening from the top down. And later in life, I realized that was BS, because most of the stuff that is important or should be important to Americans is what happens from the ground up, because they can't do stuff in DC without the people on the ground. Okay. And I hope that everybody gets that. You can't do stuff in DC without the people on the ground. States matter. States are more powerful than the government. I know somewhere along the line, somebody put something in somebody's milk, or they gave somebody some bad fermented cheese, and it changed everybody's idea of who had more power. But the states have more power than the federal government. It's just that the states have given up a whole lot of their power to the federal government, because the federal government somehow, some way, well, it's not somehow, some way, they have cut down many more trees over the last few decades and start divvying out money to these states and threatening them. If you don't do this, you're not going to get the money. You don't do that, we're not going to do this. So, in speaking at that convention, I basically told them, I was like, we have to do stuff, and at the time we have to get John McCain elected. That was the thing. That was the thing back then. Where we are right now is, I think, politics has been bastardized by so many people, and especially the media. Why are we so hard on the media? I tell you why I'm so hard on the media. It's because the media was supposed to be the linchpin in accountability. They were supposed to be, or at least that's what they set out to be, the linchpin of accountability.
Now they're part of the machine.
And now, because of money, because of I don't know, money's a big one. Now they're part of government in a way. The information that they get is from the government. You want in with our politicians? You want in with the caucuses? You want in with this? Well, you give, or you report on what we give you, and then we give you access. And instead of the media, and I'm talking about all the media too, the mainstream media. I'm talking about all of them. There are no saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost media people out there. So I'm talking about all of them. They are doing the Americans a big disservice about how they report stuff and what they won't report. That's why, for a while, I was getting on here and saying, if you really want to find out what's going on in news, you got to look outside the American. You got to look outside.
Can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, well, you got to cut the cord, though. You got to cut the cord, and you can do it.
I mean, you tell people that, and then they go to the BBC, and they might as well be watching CNN.
Well, President Trump, he kind of gave them a little shout out that they were better than CNN a couple days ago. But yeah, Sky News. I like Australia for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, the way that they do stuff down there, I don't know why I like their TV. I don't. And some of these TV places, I don't know what they're saying because of their language. But god darn, that stuff looks good. Over here, there's so much BS. There's so much BS. I put something on Twitter yesterday. What would you sell that wouldn't be products that should not be advertised in a sexy way? That people respond. people made some good stuff. One person said preparation H. Another person said denture cream. Depends undergarments, funeral services, mayonnaise, tampons. See, that's just the way America is. I mean, it is funny though. But yeah,
Can I tell a funny story too when we're talking about just news and the media and that kind of thing? And I'll be putting a tweet out about it later, just to give visuals. A few people that watch follow me on Twitter, but so there's a new thing they're trying to get on the ballot in my county. I live in Anoka County in Minnesota. Anoka Hennepin is their school district, and they're trying to raise our property tax like 18%. NewsGuard, don't quote me on that. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but it's double digits because of these programs that that started up during COVID that the cities don't want to give up, even though admissions in schools are declining and whatnot. So they're going to, and our property tax has gone up like 10%, like 8 years in a row. Every year it's just 10%, 10%. And in addition to the property tax increase, they're trying to pass a school levy in my school district. So my school district, like north of the Twin Cities, it's a pretty big school district. Take a guess, Wayne and audience, how many languages the Anoka Hennepin, Minnesota school district services. I did this game with my buddy because he's a realtor, so we were talking about property taxes and stuff, and he's like, yeah, man, they're trying to smash Anoka Hennepin again with this cool stuff. So, Wayne, what's your guess? How many languages does Anoka Hennepin School District service? And by service, I mean they have to have capabilities of separate of communicating with these people or educating people of these languages.
What's the what's the population?
I'd have to look it up. It's pretty big.
Yeah, let me know what the population is, and I'll give you a. Then everybody can give you their number, so to speak. You're talking about school wise, right?
Yeah. So in the schools, part of the expenses are that we have to cater to other languages, cultures, because we have so many immigrants and we don't require the immigrants to speak English. So you have to have all these programs available to let them to educate the different languages. So the resident population in Anoka Hennepin is 260,000 people, and there are 38,000 people in school. So 260,000 people, 38,000 students.
I would say 175 or 185.
185 languages?
Yeah.
Wayne's really good. The chat has 10, 3, 6, 17. So I looked at their documentation.
I didn't look up. And I didn't look it up.
It is 178 languages
Damn!
that we accommodate. 178 languages.
Damn.
178. And I'm gonna post the school district map earlier. Like, this isn't even like, this is like northern suburb type stuff, not insanity. Can you imagine in Minnesota we are paying for 100? Yeah, Becky, what? There are 178 languages. So it's funny. It's Arabic, Khmer, Cambodian, Chinese, Mandarin, Bengali, Estonia, Farisi, Finnish, French, German, Hebrew, Hindu, Hmong, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Lao, Lithuanian, Indonesian, Ojibwe, Sabako, Polish, Portuguese, Romania. I could go on and on. 100. So we are providing educational for 178 languages.
You know what, too? I was going to say, seriously, I was going to say 175. But then I was like,
Like, I didn't even know there was 178 languages.
Me neither.
Right?
You know what? I just threw it out there because, as we know, and everybody should know, Minnesota is the gateway to a whole lot of stuff that comes in this country.
Oh, yeah.
So, why? I mean, I could have gone 200, could have gone 300 and whatnot. And I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have been over that either. But I was like, it's a whole lot of stuff up there. And in most of these counties and stuff, you might have 6, 7, what you got. But Minnesota, y'all, is the hub of entrance. It's not Michigan, right? It's Minnesota. And these people, don't you have a border up the border on Canada, don't you? Right?
Yeah, we have the Canadian border.
Yeah, y'all border on Canada too. Because most people, when I was younger, I went up to Michigan with my uncle, and we got on one of those boats in the water. One of those, one of these things that you have parties on. It's not a yacht. It's not a trolley either, but it's one of those things. And at night, my cousin was like, "You see that over there? That's Canada." I was like, "Huh? That's Canada?"
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Michigan's on this side, but right across the water is Canada. So when we think about Minnesota, we really don't think Canada's right on the other side of the border.
Well, here's what's funny, too. If you're in Detroit, you travel south to enter Canada because it kind of loops around.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Right.
one of those weird.
That tip.
Yeah, because it kind of curves around. So I remember when I first moved to Detroit, we're like, we're going over to Windsor to go gambling, and it's like, yeah, we got to go south to Canada, and you don't think about it, and you're like, oh wow, we really do.
I remember I remember watching something on National Geographic or something, but it showed how that dip, because of the water, because of the
Right.
yeah, and it was like, it's in the United States, but it's really Canada.
Yep.
You know, that's nuts. That is really nuts.
Windsor, Canada, if you ever go, is I think Becky went to school there. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what it is now. You said Detroit opened a bunch of casinos and stuff in downtown Detroit, so I don't know. That was why you'd always go to Canada. You could buy Cuban cigars, and you could go to the casino.
What do you think about Puro and a reflecting pool? That just came up on the thing.
I don't know. I think Trump's pretty happy with what she's doing overall. I think he's pissed that they're not. Donald Trump he's a builder. And even though his stuff might be a little gaudy for the taste, Donald Trump really likes good architecture, and he likes things, public spaces looking really good. If you've ever stayed at a Trump hotel, they're done to the nines. And most of his buildings, what he's doing to the White House. And I think one thing Donald Trump wanted to do and felt was important is he wanted to reclaim some of our public spaces in DC, and the monuments and those sorts of things to really restore them. And it's funny, every time you want to put money into fixing some of this stuff, they're like, oh, you could have found 12 kids in Africa if you wouldn't have fixed the whatever. But as he goes around DC, which should be this beautiful, the most beautiful country in the world, it's like, man, we're not even maintaining our monuments. So I think it really struck a nerve with him that people were so idiotic that they would attack like the reflecting pool. And I think Puro understood the reality. There's no DC jury that would convict anybody. So
Well, it looks like what the report is that she's taking information to the White House, basically show that it was not vandalism, that it was shoddy work. A huge box, and she those roller things, the roller luggage thing. Yeah, she's rolling up there with that. As I said yesterday when we were talking about why in the world would MTG now, Puro's not going to do what they did.
Puro's fine.
Yeah, she's not going to do what they did, but nobody likes to be caught out like that in public. And she's a proud woman, so I could understand her taking this stuff to the White House to explain to President Trump. And it looks like they dropped charges against 3 more people too. So not only the Olympian, which MTG and them are saying, I hope he sues the administration, but it looks like 3 more people had their charges dropped too. Yeah, but yeah, I really don't think that. I don't know if that thing is going to go up. The Arc de Trump. I really don't know if that's going to go up.
I think Trump wants it to go up. I think he's doing
he really does.
things to make DC beautiful. I think it's fascinating, though, the number of people that aren't being convicted. And, it's not for lack of charges, but there's just, you realize the legal system is just not going to hold people accountable. I mean, Somali fraudsters, fun fact, and I think I mentioned it earlier, 80% of those convicted in Minnesota, and this is verifiable, NewsGuard, are not going to end up with a felony on their record. 80%. These are people that committed hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of fraud in Minnesota. 80% won't get a felony. Like, come on, what are we even doing? We talked about it with flock cameras a couple weeks ago. it's not like we haven't identified who the criminals are. We just, as a society, we've decided just not hold people accountable. So,
Yeah, and that's with a whole lot of stuff that I was talking about today. That just goes back to that. The media has lost accountability. They a whole lot of people have lost accountability to hold people accountable for the things that they do, which has brought this country down in such a way. We should be a whole lot more farther than where we are right now. Seriously, we should be. But with and I know Trump is a builder. He's been a builder. Has done some great things in the past and stuff. And with the way that the things are coming out right now, the stuff is happening close to the midterms. The stuff is happening close to the midterms. Where National Park Service came out yesterday and said that the height that President Trump wants is going to mess up the landscape of other things. And I know he wants it. Maybe he might lower it. Which might be better just to get it. Because, if he puts it up, he could be going to court here and going to court there and going to court there. And knowing him, he probably will just put it up, without asking. So
right.
We'll see, but things go up, they're quick to come down in this country. All right, Jason, let's it's 12:58. I got this cool tool before you get to lunch. I got this cool tool that
Wayne's going to show me his tool. What?
Yeah, this tool that you can put on your grill and it scrubs it really good. It's really good.
Nice.
Yes, it's really good. The reason why I say it is because I was out there today and I plan on using it. I put some more chicken in some pickle juice, and I'm gonna do some chicken.
Wayne's gonna go keto. He's gonna go caveman. Those pounds are gonna melt off.
I hope so.
I'm telling you, if you commit to it, just like 3 months.
Yeah,
it's a rough week getting in. It's a rough week getting out.
You know me. I mean, once I'm in, I'm in. I really don't care if it's rough or not. I mean,
right?
I don't care. It's just
caveman, keto, whatever you want to call it, Atkins. Like, oh, you'll thank me later. All right, well, I'm going to give my final thoughts. Final thought 1, thank everybody for tuning in, especially as we've had technical problems getting logged in. I still can't see chats. We got to figure that out. But we appreciate you guys taking time to log in, hang out with us every day. Super awesome to have you, and we love you all. Second thought, proud moment. My wife and I, we actually are attempting a little gardening this year, and we just harvested our first cucumber and our first peppers, our green peppers. And you know what I didn't know? I didn't realize that a red pepper is just you leave a green pepper on longer and then it turned into a red pepper. Evidently, that's a thing. Like color me silly. Maybe I was told.
I got one for you. Did you know that there are female and male peppers?
No.
The male peppers have the 4 things at the bottom. You know those?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Female has 3.
Oh, female. Wow.
Yeah, the females are sweeter and the males are more sour.
So now I got to check the gender of my peppers to see what they identify as. Wayne. Oh, yeah, now we're getting recipes. So bring your cucumbers. Jen and I are staring at this cucumber going, what do we do other than cut it up and put it in ranch? But anyways, then my last thought, we talked about this yesterday, and a Cynical Publis, great follow on Twitter. I would recommend you following if you haven't. We were talking about the inner party dynamics going on, and he articulated it much better than I could. And I'm just going to read it quick. As we watch Tucker and his elite group of emotionally wounded narcissists do everything that they can to destroy the Republican Party and hand the federal government to literal communists Who knows why they're doing this? I think it's important that Republicans understand that the Democrat tactic of always uniting behind their party's candidate so we can adopt the same approach. I'll explain it using a personal example. I'm not sure who I would support for president in 2028. I used to think it would be a slam dunk for JD, but frankly, some of his associations, his connections to this common good movement and his handling of the Iran negotiations has given me pause. I've not really dug deep into any of this yet, so it could be that I'm being superficially swayed by false reports. The fact is that I may choose a preferred presidential candidate for the GOP that is not the choice of many other Republicans. That's okay. As we sing in the primary season, which should heat up the minute midterms are over, the GOP should vigorously debate who we want as president. Is it Vance? Is it DeSantis, Rubio, or Gabbard? Let the arguments flow. Be fierce. Be committed. Stand by your beliefs. That is America. But know this. Whomever I support, once the GOP candidate is chosen through that process, that will be the candidate I will fight for tooth and nail. Why? Because the alternative is literal communists. And, we use the line like on our Friday show, like no enemies to the right. As you watch these primaries today, there's Michigan, there's the Wisconsin lady, Tiffany Fong, or whatever her name is. These people are crazy people. So, don't let perfection be the enemy of good, folks. Get out, vote, support candidates. But once we pick our leadership, like let's push the ball forward. On that note, we'll see everybody tomorrow.
And for everybody that's following me on social media, thank you. For those that are following me on social media, for those that are sticking out, for those that are listening to the show, and for those that are downloading the podcast, thank you for doing that. I want everybody out there to know that I have reached that point that I'm not forcing anybody to think anything. We both aren't really. We're not forcing anybody to believe in anything. We're not forcing anybody to think like anything. We're not forcing anybody to jump on board and follow what we believe in. That's something that this show has never tried to do. We have tried to give you our opinions on certain things. NewsGuard, we have tried to give you our certain opinion on stuff. And when it comes down to the fact, y'all may disagree with us. That's America. Come back tomorrow, you might agree on something. If you agree and disagree, get angry, get mad, stand on your head and spit fire, tomorrow's another day. But just remember, we have said research on damn near everything that we talk about. Just don't go with what our opinions are. Research it for yourself. It's out there. I don't think that we've talked about anything from another planet. So, yeah,
that's Wednesday's show.
Yeah. But we haven't touched on stuff that is so foreign that y'all don't know what it's about. Or if that's the case, research it for yourself. Take the time out. And then if we're wrong or you find out something that, guess what? God darn, Jason was right about such and such. You know what? Wayne has been talking about that for the last. This is what he was talking about. Welcome to the crew. But I'm not going to get everything right. I'm not. But we all live different experiences. We all see things different. We all feel things different. That's what makes us special and unique about ourselves. And when we can come together and get those experiences and mesh everything together, when we leave each other, like we're getting ready to do in a couple seconds, then we can sit back and be like, wow, that's what he was talking about. Or if we read some of the comments, wow, that's what they meant. That's America. All right, we got to go. It is 1:06 p.m.